Family back home in West Virginia was never far from their thoughts, and that kept them grounded. Today's ability to stay in constant contact was both a blessing and a curse.
When we wrote letters back home, we could not tell where we were, give any details. And so we had an officer, Captain Silver. He would read every letter. And what he didn't like in there, he took a razor blade and he cut it out. And so we was getting along pretty well up there. And I never will forget one of the letters I wrote. I'm telling you, when he brought it back to me, it was cut full of holes.
I usually got several letters, got a letter at least every day, because the people in the church were raised up. They'd send me letters. Some of those little ladies that I knew when they would always write me letters. Everybody, Dad kept after him, said, make sure you write. So yeah, that helped too. And they'd send me pictures. And usually, I'd get a pack of Kool-Aid or something in a letter, which don't sound like much, but that water is so, it takes, for a cup like this, you'd put at least one pack of Kool-Aid in it just to drown the flavor, the water taste. So that was always exciting for mail call. And I felt sorry there's a few that didn't get any mail. And that was really sad.
But what I saw was, I got to seeing a trend because I was the one who went to pick up the mail and brought the mail back and distribute it. I saw people that never got anything. We'd been over there 3-4 months and I had seen people. So I started keeping names, and I kept names of people who didn't receive letters and who didn't receive cards and boxes. And so I wrote to different churches. I looked them up on the internet, and I wrote to Kentucky Power where I worked. And Christmas time came, and I gave names, and I sent names out, not social security numbers, not anything, one address, and mail just started flowing in to these people, and they didn't know where they was coming from, and they were just so excited to get, and it just literally, I'm telling you, all this that I was doing was just taken away from what my separation anxiety that I was going through, and just to see them get letters, and they'd be like, oh my God, they knew my name, and it would just please, my face would light up, and they'd say, because when mail call came, and they'd be like, and I'd say, specialist, and they'd say, for me? I say, yeah, you have a box today. And they'd open it up, and they'd say, oh my God,
See, that was the first place that the USO came in, and somebody handed me a phone, and I dialed a number, and I spoke to someone here, and it was a cell phone. It was unreal that I could talk to someone 3,000 some miles away, and it was clear.
To me, it wasn't a big deal. I kind of used Skype and Facebook just to keep in touch with friends and family. But I did see for other people that it was a big, big distraction. Even some of the guys that had really strong marriages had a hard time keeping it together, just because you've got so much to do, you've got so much on your plate, and then you're trying to take care of things at home as well. It's rough.
I felt that if I wasn't outside the wire, I felt the responsibility to call home. I felt that I needed to call home all the time, and that got in the way.